Hey guys, my name's Michael, and I chose paper choice 1, which was a discussion about nonverbal and verbal communication. I picked this option because nonverbal and verbal communications were two topics that interested me the most in this course, and I felt that the experiments that were part of that choice would make the assignment more fun. By doing the assignment, I hope to discover just how much those two forms of communication are linked. I've always known that they work together, but I was interested to learn their full relationship. Um, Introducing my methods, I relied on a few different concepts and theories to help with the project, specifically the nonverbal communication code of kinesics, especially eye contact and facial expressions. I also used mixed messages, characteristics of a collegial peer relationship, theories on the outcome of nonverbal and verbal communication when they're in sync, nonverbal messages specifically, and perception checking questions. So here's what I did. I did 2 social experiments using people that I already knew. In the first experiment, I broke 5 social norms just to see how others would react. 5 things I broke. I shook hands with my left hand instead of my right hand for a day. I dressed professionally to work, which is usually a casual environment. I didn't give others eye contact when talking to them for a day. I moved into a coworker's intimate spaces for a day when talking to them, and I talked to my kids with a really fast rate of speech. In my second experiment, I spoke to 5 people on the phone while restricting myself from any facial expressions or hand gestures. These were all family members, my mom, my dad, my brother, my wife, and my kids. As far as conclusions go, overall I learned that breaking the rules of normal communication elicits a bewildered, sometimes even comical reaction from a person who's expecting a standard interaction. But in both experiments, the participants were put off with my unusual behaviors, and some questioned themselves as a result. Specifically from breaking the social norms experiment, I learned that most people won't call you out if they don't know you very well. Instead, they'll accommodate your behavior as much as they can, but their confusion's palpable. For example, most people did shake my left hand, and only one collegial peer actually asked me, what are you doing? Because he knew I knew how to shake hands. Another example, my coworkers, they moved away from me when I stepped into their intimate space. None of them asked me to back up, which is just another sign of accommodation. From the phone experiment, I found that nonverbal messages actually carry more weight than verbal ones. My conversation partner seemed to think that something was wrong with me, even though I was verbally telling them that everything was fine. And little did they know I was just restricting my body movements. For example, my mom asked if I was tired, and then she spoke a little bit louder afterward, after asking me, and my wife asked if I was listening to her, and then she made her tone a little more energetic. So I concluded that restricting my nonverbal communication had negatively impacted the meaning of the verbal messages that I was sending, which indicated to me that mixed messages can be sent over the phone. Reflections. How did it affect me and others? The subjects were confused with me for the most part, but they got over it once I told them what was going on. And myself, I was embarrassed a few times, but I tried to just remember that it was a stunt, and that seemed to help me get through it. For next time, I'd like to look at the effects of nonverbal and verbal communication on first impressions. Can you give a first impression nonverbally without an interaction? And if so, can this impression be rewritten with a subsequent verbal interaction, and vice versa? So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned from my experience, and I look forward to your videos. All right, take care.